Hongmeng Shiki, Kyushu Lost Fog. Chapter 1, The Mysterious Visitor. On the continent of Kyushu, the heroes are competing for each other, the countries are constantly fighting, the strong are like clouds, and the world is in chaos. Rumors of various secret arts, rare treasures, and ancient ruins have spread everywhere, and the line between the right path and the evil path has long been blurred. And in this troubled world, there is a Taoist priest with a strange description walking the rivers and lakes, and no one knows its origin. His name is Luo Xianpeng, his background is unknown, his whereabouts are erratic, and he often shows people in a Taoist robe, long hair, and shawl, but the most eye-catching thing is the 5-foot-long mace on his waist and the sharp Zhong'erguan knife behind his back. Whenever he appears, he always has a strange aura, as if out of place in this world. Today, he once again came to one of the most chaotic towns in the troubled times, Bloody City, which is a famous underworld on the rivers and lakes, where the smell of blood and conspiracy are intertwined, the strong stop, and the villains are rampant. A burly gangster Old Continent Invincible, holding a thick mace in his hand, was glaring angrily at a group of young men from the rivers and lakes who came to challenge. Behind him, there is a huge word evil engraved, giving people an incomparably strong sense of oppression. At this moment, Lu Woody was about to make a move on one of the young men, when suddenly, he heard a crisp voice coming. Don't be afraid, don't be afraid. Lu Wusha subconsciously turned around, only to see a Taoist priest in a grey Taoist robe standing in front of him at some point. The Taoist priest was wielding a mace in his hand, smiling with a lovely smile, and there was an indescribable temperament between his eyebrows. You? Who are you? Lu Woody's heart trembled suddenly. This Taoist priest who suddenly appeared made him feel an inexplicable sense of crisis. Luo Xianpeng waved his hand and said easily, Poor Luo Xianpeng, specially for the benefactor with evil qi to relieve the evil qi, add a buff to you, and definitely make you lucky, rich, and glorious. What? Add buff? Lu Woody was stunned when he heard this, and before he could react, Luo Xianpeng had already patted his thigh and made a crisp sound. Hurry up, stick your head out, and let poor Dao add a buff to you and eliminate your evil spirit. Luo Xuanpeng's tone was calm, but the mace in his hand was swinging faster and faster, and this scene stunned the surrounding audience. Lu Woody clenched his mace tightly, his brows furrowed. You? Are you trying to laugh at me? Ahem, it's okay if the donor doesn't want to be buffed, and it's not reluctant. Luo Xianpeng spread his hands helplessly, it's just that if this evil qi is not removed, I'm afraid there will be a catastrophe. Lu Woody was shocked in his heart. Luo Xuanpeng's tone was indifferent just now, but the faint palpitating aura made him have to doubt the true identity of this Taoist priest. At this moment, Luo Xianpeng suddenly waved the mace in his hand and pointed forward, pointing at Lu Wuxian's forehead. Don't worry, this buff will be given for free, don't refuse. He said with a smile. Alright, clean up. Luo Xianpeng patted lightly, withdrew the mace, and it seemed that nothing had happened. I didn't. It's okay? Lu Woody touched his forehead, feeling that he was really relaxed, and the evil aura in his heart seemed to be reduced a little. Look over there. Everyone involuntarily looked up, and suddenly, a golden light streaked across the sky, and then the atmosphere around them became extremely peaceful, as if all worries had disappeared without a trace. This is? Lu Woody's eyes widened, he had never seen such a phenomenon before. This is the Hongmeng purple qi of the Poor Road, which can dissolve all evil qi, protect the donor, and assist fate. Luo Xianpeng explained proudly. The people in the surrounding rivers and lakes were all shocked that this seemingly ordinary Taoist priest in front of him had such mysterious powers. Luo Xuanpeng's fame spread throughout the Bloody City overnight. Chapter 2, Kyushu in the Fog. Luo Xuanpeng's reputation is growing louder, but he is not resting on his laurels. As he experienced strange events, he gradually discovered that behind this troubled world, there seemed to be some ancient secrets. These secrets are closely related to the mace on his waist and the Zhong'erguan knife behind his back, these seemingly ordinary weapons, but they carry mysterious powers that he can't explain. Luo Xianpeng has always had a question in his heart, what is the origin of these weapons? Why does he have such great power? Why is the purple qi on his body constantly awakening the memories in his heart? Perhaps, the answer to all this is hidden in the truth of antiquity. Luo Xianpeng thought to himself. One day, he came to the heart of Kyushu, Luoyang City. It was once the capital of ancient times, but now it has become the focus of contention among various countries. In Luoyang City, various forces are intertwined, and countless secrets are hidden in it. It is rumored that the ancient Purple Qi Temple is buried here, which is the only key to the truth. If you want to find the truth of the ancients, you must first go to the Purple Qi Temple. Luo Xianpeng stood on the tall building of Luoyang City, his eyes were like torches. However, the Purple Chi Hall is not so easy to find. The temple is protected by a powerful barrier that is difficult for outsiders to reach. Luo Xianpeng knew that in order to enter the Purple Chi Palace, he had to obtain two things. One was the ancient inheritance rune, and the other was the key to the Purple Chi Palace, the legendary mysterious jade. For this reason, Luo Xianpeng decided to compete with today's Jianghe powerhouses to compete for these key items. And in the process of searching around, he found that he had to face not only the enemies in the rivers and lakes, but also the evil forces hidden in the darkness. Chapter 3, A Test of Strength. In the following days, Luo Xianpeng shuttled through the land of Kyushu, challenging major forces and solving one puzzle after another. With each step he took, he got closer to the truth of the ancients, but he gradually discovered that the enemies he faced were far more powerful and cunning than he imagined. Just as he is about to reveal his final secret, he encounters the real enemy, a mysterious man in black named Nether. Netherworld is not an ordinary person, he has the same purple chi as Luo Xianpeng, and his power is far beyond ordinary people. The duel between the two will decide the fate of Kyushu, and it will also reveal the long-hidden truth of antiquity. Chapter 4, The True Face of the Netherworld. In the duel with the Netherworld, Luo Xianpeng constantly felt a strong oppressive force. The Nether's figure seemed to be fickle in the darkness, and no matter how much he attacked, the man was always able to easily dodge it. This kind of confrontation made Luo Xianpeng feel unprecedentedly difficult. Deist, you're just like that. The ghostly voice carried a cold smile, as if teasing Luo Xianpeng. Luo Xianpeng's heart was beating faster and faster, and he began to find that the purple chi used by the Netherworld was abnormally similar to the purple chi in his body. There was a faint connection between the two, which made him wonder if the Netherworld had some kind of blood relationship with him. Who are you? Why is there the same purple chi as me? Luo Xianpeng clenched the mace in his hand, and his gaze became more and more determined. Nether's smile gradually retracted, and his gaze became extremely cold. I have a long fate with you. Did you know that the source of those purple chi actually came from the lost lands of the ancients? The relationship between you and me is far more complicated than you think. Luo Xianpeng's heart was shocked. He always felt that there were hidden secrets hidden in the words of the Netherworld, and these secrets were contrary to the history he had known since childhood. The lost lands of the ancients. Luo Xianpeng involuntarily whispered. Netherworld smiled slightly, then raised his hand and pointed, and in an instant, the surrounding scene changed drastically. A purple light streaked across the sky, the ground shook, and the air around it became extremely oppressive, as if even time had frozen. Is this what you call purple chi? Luo Xianpeng no longer hesitated, he gathered the strength of his whole body, wielded his mace, and purple light was released from the mace, tearing a gap in the darkness around him. The Netherworld's figure disappeared into the darkness again. However, his voice sounded in Luo Xianpeng's ears. This is the true power of the ancient purple chi. You don't understand its true intentions, but you will soon understand. You are destined to be unable to escape from all this. Chapter 5, Uncovering the Truth of Purple Chi. Although Luo Xianpeng couldn't defeat the Netherworld for a while, he left deep doubts in his heart. The ancient purple chi that Netherworld was talking about, it was not the first time he had heard this word. In his long years of adventure, he had heard rumors about ancient ruins and purple chi countless times, but he had never explored them in depth each time. This time, however, he was moved by the message revealed by the Nether. He knew that if these mysteries were not solved, he would not be able to move forward. So, he decided to shift his goal from overcoming the Netherworld to a deeper truth, the source of purple chi. He came to the location of the Purple Chi Temple, a hidden ancient mountain range on the border of Kyushu. It's deserted, and there's an ancient atmosphere wafting through the air around it, which makes people feel oppressed. It is rumored that only those who have obtained the ancient inheritance of the Purple Chi Hall can break into it. Luo Xianpeng walked in the mountains for several days, and finally found the temple protected by the ancient enchantment in a hidden valley. The ancient trees outside the hall were guarded, and the entrance to the temple was surrounded by a purple shroud. This is the Purple Chi Palace. Luo Xianpeng's eyes were solemn, and his heart was full of anticipation and apprehension. He stretched out his hand and lightly touched the purple light mask, and suddenly, a strong force attracted his palm, and then, the light mask shook slightly and slowly dissipated. He took a deep breath and stepped into the interior of the Purple Chi Temple. The air inside the hall is thick, and the walls around it are densely engraved with ancient runes, as if telling a forgotten history. Walking into the hall, Luo Xianpeng felt a powerful energy enveloping him, and that purple chi seemed to merge with him. This is... A hint of surprise flashed in Luo Xianpeng's eyes. as he found that in the deepest part of this temple, there was an ancient stone statue with a face that was extremely similar to his own. This. Is it me? Luo Xianpeng looked at the stone statue incredulously, and an unprecedented sense of familiarity involuntarily emerged in his heart. At this moment, the runes around the stone statue suddenly began to glow, and then an ancient voice echoed in the hall. Luo Xianpeng, you're finally here. You are not only the inheritor of this hall, but also the sole inheritor of the ancient purple qi. Luo Xianpeng listened to these words in astonishment, and countless questions surged in his mind. It turned out that the purple qi he possessed was not accidental, but closely related to one of his ancient ancestors. You. An ancient god. Luo Xianpeng could barely believe his ears. No, I'm no longer a god, but a sealed memory. You are my chosen descendant, the only one who can break this seal. The voice continued. Luo Xianpeng's heart swelled with an indescribable shock, and he suddenly realized that the road he had embarked on was not only to uncover the fog of a river and lake, but to unravel an ancient secret that spanned thousands of years and related to the entire Kyushu. Chapter 6, The Test of Inheritance. When Luo Xianpeng stood in the deepest part of the Purple Qi Hall and heard that ancient voice, his state of mind changed dramatically. He thought that his adventure was just to seek strength, but he never expected that all this would be a chess game that fate had already arranged. Since you are the chosen offspring, you must be tested to inherit this power. The ancient voice rang out again, this time, with a hint of menace. Trial. Luo Xianpeng couldn't help frowning. Yes, the test. The voice continued, if you can't get through, you'll be swallowed up by this power, and you'll never be able to get out. Luo Xianpeng took a deep breath and raised his head, a hint of determination flashed in his eyes. I'm willing to accept it. As a result, the light in the Purple Qi Hall suddenly became more dazzling, and the runes around him vibrated violently, and a pillar of light shot out from the stone statue, pointing directly at Luo Xianpeng's chest. Are you ready, Luo Xianpeng? The old voice asked again. Luo Xianpeng nodded firmly, ready to meet this fate-changing test. Chapter 7, The Beginning of the Trial. With the illumination of the pillar of light, Luo Xianpeng only felt that the air around him instantly became cold, and his body seemed to be restrained by some invisible force and could not move. Then, his vision began to blur, and there was a white light in front of him, as if he was caught in an endless tunnel of time and space. Suddenly, the light gradually dissipated, and Luo Xianpeng found himself in a strange space. It wasn't anywhere he'd ever seen before, it was surrounded by a thick fog of blurry images floating in the fog, as if the past and the future were intertwined into an elusive fog. He knew that this was the beginning of the test. The test is not a physical challenge, but a spiritual one. The ancient voice sounded again, this time, with a hint of mystery and threat in his tone. Only through the chaos in our hearts can we truly understand the power of Purple Qi. Luo Xianpeng took a deep breath and began to organize his thoughts. He knew that this trial would test not only his strength, but also his knowledge of fate and self. The duel with the netherworld just now, as well as the twists and turns along the way, all prove that this test will be the most difficult one of his life. In that case, let's come. He secretly mustered up his courage and took a step. The fog gradually lifted, the scene in front of him changed instantly, and an ancient palace appeared in front of him. The appearance of the palace is quaint, as if it has been baptized by thousands of years of wind and rain, but it exudes a mysterious atmosphere, which makes him involuntarily have a trace of awe in his heart. Come in. The voice sounded in his ears, without the slightest emotion, coldly commanding. Luo Xianpeng walked into the palace. The furnishings inside were ancient and simple, and the hall was surrounded by countless ancient books and classics. In the center, there is a circular stone platform, which is carved with exquisite runes and emits a faint blue light. This is... Luo Xianpeng couldn't help but stop, his heart shocked. The runes carved on the stone platform had never been seen before, but they were extremely familiar, as if they had been touched in some time and space. You're finally here. A familiar voice suddenly came. Luo Xianpeng turned his head suddenly, only to see a figure appear in the depths of the palace. The person was dressed in a black robe, his face was hidden under the brim of his hat, and he couldn't see his true face clearly. As soon as this person appeared, the air around him seemed to freeze, and all the fog dissipated in an instant, replaced by an extremely heavy aura. Are you? Nether? Luo Xianpeng frowned. The person who appeared in front of him was very similar to the netherworld. It's me. The black-robed man smiled faintly, seemingly indifferent to Luo Xianpeng's surprise, and then his tone became even colder. However, you should understand that netherworld is not my real name, I am just a pseudonym. I am your true adversary. Luo Xianpeng's heart was shocked, and he instantly understood that the person in front of him was not a netherworld, but an existence with a deeper fate with him. This is not only a physical showdown, but also a trial of fate and history. So, how do I get through this test? Luo Xuanpeng's tone became calm. He knew that only by solving these mysteries could he truly enter the deepest part of the Purple Chi Palace. It's easy. The black-robed man chuckled lightly and pointed to the runes on the stone platform. These runes are not only ancient wisdom, but also the mirror image of your heart. If you can understand the true meaning of these runes, you will be able to pass the test and inherit the power of Purple Chi. Luo Xuanpeng was silent for a moment, then lowered his head to look at the runes on the stone platform. These runes crisscross and are intricate, and each symbol seems to contain unfathomable power. He struggled to recall the meaning of the runes, only to find them glittering with an elusive light before his eyes, as if they had come from some ancient mysterious world. What do these runes represent? Luo Xuanpeng thought silently in his heart, trying to unravel the mystery. The black-robed man smiled lightly. Don't you understand? These runes actually represent your inner confusion, fear, confusion, and even your resistance to fate. Every rune is closely related to the depths of your soul. Luo Xuanpeng was shocked, and he finally realized that this test was not a simple puzzle, but a profound inquiry into his heart. Every choice he makes is a reflection of his own heart. He took a deep breath, closed his eyes, and calmed down. He began to think about everything in the past, recalling the experiences he had had since he was a child, and the fear and confusion in his heart slowly emerged. However, these emotions did not make him hold back, but made him see his inner strength more clearly. He slowly opened his eyes, his gaze was firm, and whispered to the runes on the stone platform, I have understood that the trial of all this is for me to accept myself and accept the arrangement of fate. As his words fell, the runes on the stone platform suddenly began to glow, and the lines between the runes slowly intertwined, forming a huge picture, which showed the source of the ancient Purple Chi, a mysterious sea area called the Sea of Purple Xia, where the strongest power of the ancient world was hidden. The black-robed man nodded slightly, obviously very satisfied with Luo Xuanpeng's answer. However, his gaze was still staring coldly at Luo Xuanpeng. This is the first step, you still have a longer way to go. Luo Xuanpeng clenched his fists, a raging fire ignited in his heart. No matter how difficult it was ahead, he was ready to embark on this path of seeking the truth. Chapter 8: The Intertwining of Fates. Just as Luo Xuanpeng was about to continue to go deeper into the Purple Chi Palace, the black-robed man suddenly showed a faint smile, and his eyes revealed an unfathomable emotion. Luo Xuanpeng, the real test has just begun.